Hi, this is A, and we're at the first Colorado Punk Rock Army art show at Antero Hall at X Saloon. And let's just walk around a little bit and talk to some of the artists. What do you say? So, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Andre Lippard. How's it going?
Fantastic. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your art here?
Okay, so all my stuff starts off as an oil painting, and then I get it scanned in and do prints. My style is really cubistic and surreal, kind of a mesh of that. I like to work with really thick paint, but I work almost exclusively in oil paint. I'm really heavily, influenced by the cubists and the surrealists. I like that style. My work is sometimes described as hyper cartoon to a certain extent.
Hyper cartoon, that's a good way to put it.
My style really ranges from very detailed kind of city scenes to very simplistic landscapes that are very simple. I also do a lot of abstract. All over the place.
Well, right on. Are there any, what pieces do you want to call specific attention to? Which ones are your favorite?
This is kind of a new painting I've done. It's called Upon the Precipice of Perdition. So this guy's on his horse, he's about to trip into the abyss. He's got a blindfold and he's bound. He doesn't have a relationship with that horse. That horse is like my spirit animal that I've lost communication with. And so I haven't nurtured it, I haven't fed it, and the horse has gone crazy from just trying to survive and the struggle of life, and he thrashes through a pathway of brambles and thorns and gets to the edge of falling into the abyss of losing yourself. It's just kind of a feeling and also maybe a message to remind ourselves to have that relationship with our spiritual self, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of the most deep painting I've really ever done. The one below it is kind of a deep psychological painting too, of those feelings when you feel broken. Maybe you make a bad choice in your life, or maybe you find yourself at the bottom of addiction or mental illness or something, and you feel like you just want to crumble. And I've been there, and that's how it's like a catharsis. It's therapy to get that out and pick yourself back up and, get back to some normal stuff like city scenes. I like to do it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm working a whole lot on Denver city scenes. I've got the Gothic Theater, Paramount Theater, Pete's Kitchen, the Brown Palace. All those city scenes are in my studio right now and being worked on to, the big, there you go.
I love all the little grandmas. The ones that didn't even meet me.
Well, that's fantastic. I really like your Bluebird. That's just truly just beautiful work there.
That's my bestseller, and that was my first city scene. That was my very first city scene, and a friend of mine influenced me. He used to play for the Railbenders. He was a guitar player, and he knows the music scene. I've been around music for a long time. I'm a native, actually, of Lakewood. Grew up here, went to Green Mountain High School.
Right on. Hi, this is Zay, and we're here with Leigh Neer. And what brings you to the art show tonight?
Well, Bog and Andy and Phil all invited me to join this little show that they've put together, and I was excited to work with all of them. Bog is one of my favorites locally that I hadn't met until today, but I knew of him and followed his stuff and adore him.
Well, right on. Well, that's one of the cool things about this whole community is the way that everybody gets drawn in and works together. What pieces would you like to call attention to?
I love Johnny. I usually always do at least one Johnny for any of the art shows I've done. Debbie Harry, I love how colorful she is. And Mickey and Mallory Knox from Natural Born Killers. I had that personally above my bed for a good year and a half, and then thought it was time to share them with somebody else. And then Freddie Mercury is another of my favorites.
Very cool. I got to say, my personal favorite is True Romance here.
I've learned that the younger generation has no idea about that movie. I've had several people say they have no idea who that is.
More people just need to just learn some proper fucking respect for great cinema.
I agree. I mean, what is his name? The guy that plays the pimp.
I'm sorry. Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman
My
as a
twin.
pimp is like insane.
5, 4, 3. We're here with Bog Scraper now.
Hi. Hi.
How you doing tonight?
Hi, Andy. I'm doing great.
Right on.
And I really appreciate you guys letting us do this.
Well, dude, we love you.
It was kind of a spur of the moment thing, and you guys just manned up. So thank you very much.
Well, thanks for having the idea. Yeah, it was your idea in the beginning, if I remember right?
I think
Wasn't
so.
it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your art.
Well, I decided I wanted to be an artist when I was 6, and I originally I wanted to be a sculptor. And then, you know, when your parents aren't paying the bills and you're living on your own and sculpture is expensive and you're painting buildings and you have free paint, so I started painting. And then the last 2 years, I've kind of combined the sculpture with the paint. So the way I start is I prep a canvas with hot glue, plaster cast of faces, butts, boobs, and then I glue them together with the hot glue, and then I paint them, sometimes with an airbrush, sometimes by hand. I obviously got a huge Geiger influence. I mean, who doesn't? Who's my age? You know, we grew up with him. But I try to add a lot of color when I can, and a lot of detail. Detail's a big deal to me. I really like, you know, I have fear of being called a lazy artist.
This says anything but lazy.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
This one here specifically, the use of negative space, the way the empty space between the two canvases, I've never seen anything quite like that. I think that's truly amazing. Why don't you talk a little bit about this? And
okay, well, I call this piece Grandmother, and like I said, the negative space behind. It's funny, I put it together. I was broke and I wanted to do something bigger. So I was going to glue 2 canvases straight together, but they kept folding weird. So I separated them, I braced them with some wood, and I kind of pretty much put a face up there and started drawing an outline with the glue. And as I went on, I added the little skulls in the faces, and then I was white glue, white canvas, white little skulls and faces, and I laid it down on its side, and it sat in my garage for about 4 months. And then, I don't know what, something hit me. I was listening to a podcast about the Persian Empire, real exciting 18-hour college lecture kind of crap. And I needed something to do while listening to it, and I went and grabbed her, and it just kind of flowed out. It just kind of happened. And I call her Grandmother, but I leave a blank space. I didn't do my cards this time. So I like it to have whatever ethnic name for grandmother your family would use, Lola, Yaya, Tutu, because every human being in the world's got a grandma.
it's true.
And that's your history. And she had a grandma. And it goes all the way back through time, and somewhere there's a grandma back there that was all our grandma. We all come from one source, and our stories all eventually do cross. So, grandmother. And that's about the most explanation I'll ever do, because I like people to let their own imagination go with it. And usually I don't really have much of an idea, but this one kind of really had a story behind it. And then some things, I started this 2 weeks ago, and it just happened. It just came out. And a friend came over, posed for the plaster piece, and she's the type that wants to see progress. So I'm like, I'll fool around with it. And it just kept going till it was done. So it all kind of depends. This one sat white for like 6 months before I decided what to do with it. And this one was a quick one. It just kind of came together. It just kind of came out of my head and went.
Alright, this song's about, we're hanging on the mountains and we met these witches. It's called Fly Across the Sky. And fire's roaring. This only happens
initially, I was supposed to introduce my friends, Downward Son. I believe I was actually a founding member of that band, but I guess I wasn't black enough. Fucking niggers. But I love those guys. They are my friends, they are my brothers, they are my musical inspiration. So as I was saying to my homie Dustin before, I guess you're gonna get the chips and salsa before you get to enchiladas. Let's see what we're gonna do. I say we like I have a band behind me. Usually I have a band behind me, but I guess I smell too good. merci. Thank you.
What a sucker. Who tunes? Rock and roll! Up here across us, all of us, but it's better stop the tune. This isn't actually a fog machine, this is just mine. It's a song about spiders. Who feels like spiders? Has ever seen a spider before? Oh shit, there's movies about the men made from spiders and all that. They're spooky. Sometimes you walk through a web and you're like, ah, and then you gotta get it all off and it's still there.
I don't
song. It's called Kill Myself, but I have to go to work tomorrow. Luckily I don't today, but tomorrow I will.
Sun, rainbows, everything was wonderful and beautiful when we were together. Kill myself, but I have to go to work tomorrow.